have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond, worry no more. Because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Karaba Avenue and Brusubi Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635 9906.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3, or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151, or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Hello and welcome to the brunch on Fatou Live. I am Lamin Cham, welcoming you once again to our weekly current affairs program. This week, another delay in the supposed presentation of the report of the TRRC. We will find out what is the reason behind this latest delay and what next for this Truth Commission. An opinion poll for the first time, pre-election that is, have indicated that the National People's Party of President Barrow is likely to win the December elections. How do they come by with such an outcome? We will talk to the organizers, that is CepRass. An official from them will be in the studio to tell us all what the survey is all about. And we will talk to the direct stakeholders of that report, the UDP and the NPP, later in the program. So stick by, and thank you very much wherever you are watching us from. Now, we kick off from the major event of the week. The supposed presentation of the report of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, TRRC, did not happen on September the 30th as it was rescheduled. Now, for reasons behind the latest delay, I am joined in the studio with by Essa Jallow. He is the Director of Communications and the spokesperson for the Commission. Essa, welcome to the brunch.
Thank you. Thank you, Lamin.
The presentation did not come about. Your office came out with a press release to state that the report is reportedly, I should say, not quite ready. But there have been a lot of allegations suggesting conspiracy, behind this latest delay, and indeed even the first one. Tell us, Essa, isn't as many people feel something is funny in this whole process?
Thank you, Lamin. It is natural that when you promise people something once, it didn't happen. You promise them the second time and it didn't happen again. People are bound to be suspicious, rightly or wrongly. But the real reason why the report wasn't presented was because it wasn't ready. If the report were ready, there wouldn't be any reason to keep it. The fact that it is not ready and the fact that government didn't want to receive it in bits and pieces, that is why it cannot be presented. So the real reason why it is not ready can be very complex because report writing process, particularly of this nature, takes a lot of stages and it takes a lot of care to do. And because the stages are different and the stakeholders are different, the report is bound to go around in circles. For example, if the draft has drafted and it goes through the legal team, they look at it, and then the consultant takes a look at it and then present it to the commissioner who are supposed to put their signatures on. If they raise any objection or any observation that it changes, that means you have to go back again to that same circle. Because what would happen is if you change one thing, it might reflect on something else in another report. So that is the job of the legal team to go back again to look at that, because or else you might have you will make a decision in one thing and that same decision contradicts another one in another report. So this is this kind of cycle that was occurring.
Cycle, yeah.
Yes, and it is the ultimate decision of the commissioners. And then you cannot blame them for saying, no, I do not agree with this, or yes, I think this is supposed to be changed. You cannot blame them for that. So if they raise those things, it is them who are presenting the report as their report. So the drafters don't have a choice but to go back there and actually put the thing the way the commissioners wanted it. And because of that, it got delayed.
So, okay, let me take it. The drafters are independent people, but whatever they do must be approved by the commissioners in their general totality.
Exactly. The commissioners are the last part of this whole of the chain. They look at it, they review it, and all of the commissioners have equal right to understand what is in there, because we even provide interpreters for the commissioners who don't understand English, for those things to be read to them and understand really this is what they are putting their signatures on. So you can see that can also take time. And if they don't agree, then there's no choice. The drafters don't have the last say. It is the commissioners that have the last say. It has to go back to the drafters again to change it the way the commissioner wanted for it to come back.
Okay. Let's put in the conspiracy theories. It has been said all over that there are certain members of these commissioners. Among them, there are people who have an ulterior motive in employing these delaying tactics. You have described that they must all agree first on a certain item before it can become final, before they could sign it.
Yes.
There are conspiracies that there are commissioners who they have ulterior motives. They will, deliberately, employ delaying tactics for political reasons. They are in cohort, allegedly, with the government. I mean, the government has seen this TRRC issue as a hot potato in their hands, giving its political implications. So the government is interested in delaying the report as long as possible so that by December 4th, when they face election, they wouldn't have to deal with this hot potato being the TRRC thing. So do you, in your honest opinion, think that some of these delays could have been, some sort of a sabotage?
That's a strong word to use from my side. I think, you see, I do not understand or I don't know how the conspiracy theorists came to that conclusion, because I, for one, have never attended any of those reviews and I have not witnessed any of those delaying tactics. So probably somebody somewhere knew something that I don't know. But what I want to say is, if a commissioner happened to look at something that is written and raise an issue over it, I think it is the right of that commissioner to raise that issue. So whether others think it is genuine or not genuine, that is subject to a debate. But then to go that far to say there are people who are actually in cohort with government and then they want to do, I would not be able to make that kind of a statement because I don't have a proof for that and I have never attended any of those reviews. So those, I cannot comment on that. But what I want to say here is that the investigators have concluded. They have done their findings, and now it is the point of the recommendation that is in contention here. So what is more important is the findings will never change. The findings will never change. The investigators have investigated and they've raised all those issues. So now they have discovered that a certain perpetrator have committed an X number of crimes, or a certain victim have been subjected to a certain number of violations. That will not change. What will change is what is going to happen to that perpetrator. Or what is going to be done in relation to the number of violations that perpetrator has actually committed. So that wouldn't change. So now the recommendations here, this is where the debate is. If they say, okay, an ex-perpetrator committed X number or Y number of crimes, and then they think that, okay, that perpetrator should go to court. And then some people say, no. We don't think this perpetrator should go to court because he has cooperated and he has helped the investigators do X, Y, and Z. So that means, we're supposed to say, okay, a certain. So that can be subject to a debate.
Okay.
And then, but then if they disagree completely, all of them, then they will subject it to a vote. And if they vote, whatever the decision of the commission on that, on that, will be the one that is going to be final. So people coming out mentioning things, well, for me as a communications person at the TRRC, wouldn't know that. And there are things that I don't know because I don't need to know. But anything that the public need to know, I get briefed on it. So when this whole thing was happening, I had a briefing with the chairman, and I've asked all the questions that I needed to ask, and those questions were answered, and that is what I'm simply transmitting to the public.
But in your statement, that is the press release that came, there has not been any definite date now for submitting this report. Now, doesn't this give credence to people pumping the conspiracy theories that now there's not even a definite day for submission? So the government got what they want. They could continue with their conspiracy until any time they feel like it. Why would the council now be the commission now be in position to say we can do it and so that? I understand, of course, they failed twice. There must be a reason. There must be, a cause for concern whether they can meet any date they announce. But why do you leave it open like this? So now it can even take January.
Yeah, that is the sad part of the situation.
Yeah, why wouldn't you say you can do it?
Well, I believe what I have gathered is that the commissioners believe that the drafters or other people are being put under a lot of pressure because these drafters and all the people involved in the report writing process are working overtime. They work sometimes up to 2 a.m., on weekends. Like today, they are still there. they're working on this because this thing needs to be looked at meticulously. So with a date attached to it, they're thinking that is the reason why some of the things are there are some problems. That can be also subject to it.
But if you leave it open now, anybody whose intention is to delay it as much as possible now got a free hand.
It will play into the people who believe that this is not going to be handled, and that rightly so. So, but then it is you cannot exonerate the commission as an institution from this, because if we had finished the report on the 12th, then we were not going to get into this.
Exactly.
So exactly now. So, but then what is more important now is to submit a good report than just to submit a report because other people are also interested. Because look, if people say government isn't interested in receiving this report before the elections, then that means the opposition is also interested in receiving knowing the report before the elections. So it plays in both hands. If it is before the elections as they wanted, maybe it is going to help them. If it is after the election, maybe it is going to help. So these are things that will come up. There's no way that we can escape this. Okay. And this whole problem is created by the TRRC, who's actually not delivered the report on time.
Okay, let's talk about again. The TRRC. You see, don't you think that the government or skeptics or critics of the TRRC are not justified in thinking that there might be some political motives in the way and the conduct of the commission when you have people like the former executive secretary, Essa Jallow, who said he considered going into politics, but he has now cancelled that decision. And then you have the lead counsel, Fall, who has now jumped into the political scene. Now, these things, don't you think, have played into the hands of the critics? Because, I mean, people who never in the first place wanted the TRRC to succeed would say, well, you see, we had known this. And these people who are key players, who are supposed to be, the eyes and the hope of the people, are themselves to jump into the political scene. So we are right in criticizing that this is a political witch hunt. Don't you think these two people's actions might have played into the hands of their critics?
Yeah, that is so.
Even though everybody has a right to go into politics.
Exactly,
but this process, as sensitive as it is,
it has created that cloud of doubt in the minds of those who have doubted the credibility of the TRRC. And you see, if somebody, because there are people who doubted the credibility of the TRRC from day one, and then if these things happen, it is just going to increase their doubt of that. But then, whether that has any bearing on the actual work of the TRRC, this is what needs to be known. As far as I know, the investigations, the work of the TRRC wasn't done by the commissioners. The entire investigations were done by Gambians who've been keenly doing this thing to the best of their ability, and that is not going to change. So with all the things that are surrounding the TRRC in terms of politics that created all these doubts wouldn't change those findings, and that is going to be there forever. Right. Now that people have this doubt, whether that also has a bearing on the outcome of the report is also subject to debate. Because now, I think what we need to concentrate more on is what kind of a report that TRRC is going to be. Is the report fair? Is it objective? Is it not over the top? Or has it been a good report in general? This is more important than any other thing that is surrounding it. Because the TRRC has been given a job, and the job is to investigate and provide a report. That is not out yet. And then the product is not out yet, and it is being criticized. So that
politicized. Yeah. But the thing is, like I said, I mean, the actions of the two people who are very key in the establishment and running of the commission, expressing interest in politics, even though it's well into their rights to do so. But many people who may not even be critics think that, well, probably it's too premature for them to raise those issues, because that's only going to play into the hands of the critics who say, look, we know all this is political, that is why these guys are doing this thing like they are doing. They are saying now. Yeah. Now, a lot of people believe that that is really what could have, triggered the further politicization of the whole thing, because, I mean, the people who are going to receive this report and take action on it are themselves political animals in the government. So they will always interpret it and play whatever tricks they can do to make sure that it is even if it is not discredited, but at least it's delayed and the momentum is lost and be clouded, its credibility be tainted?
No, you see, the credibility issue there is what I am trying to argue, is that the report, we don't know what is in it. So you cannot criticize the credibility of the report just because other people have ventured into other things, because that is not going to change the findings. This is what I'm saying. Okay. But then you can say, okay, this is it, how to call it, they have gone into politics, or they wanted to go into politics and they didn't go, and then because you did not want it in the first place, that would be a reason for that. But what I am telling you, whether they had been into politics or not, that is not going to change the findings, because they did not investigate. Investigators have done their investigations and they've had their findings, and it is there. And those people are not into politics. So that is not going to change.
So basically what you are saying, that whatever the government does later,
yes,
cannot be influenced by what, by the interests of Baba Gale or Essa Pal going to politics. It has nothing to do with each other. I mean, the government is expected to do what is just and what is to do justice to the document, whether or not the guy who wrote is the leader of the opposition.
Yes, if the document comes out, what is more important is to look at whether it has been done the way it is supposed to be done, like I have said. Yeah. Now, if anybody who is responsible to implement what the TRRC has recommended, it has any guts to dismiss anything, would have to do that providing justifiable reasons. Okay. Probably even legal reasons why you wouldn't do this. But then, governments are like that. We've seen previous reports that came out and they picked what they want to do and left the others. Yes. That is not in the control of the TRRC. Yeah, exactly. That is government's control. And then it is left with the citizens to make a decision when such things happen. But then the TRRC's job now is to do a report, is to investigate and make findings and then make recommendations to government. So it is left to government to do, because that is the way the act is. And then when this report is being prepared, the TRRC, the Attorney General, in collaboration with the Executive Secretary, shall actually publicize this to the Parliament and to the UN Secretary General, and then it should be within 30 days. So that will happen. And if that happens, everybody will know what is in the report.
But then the question is, would that happen before the elections?
Well, it doesn't matter if it is elections or no elections.
The suspicion is that the government doesn't want that to happen until we pass the elections. Because if that happens before the elections, the government will be more under pressure by institutions, reputed institutions that you name, and international stakeholders who want to see government commitment, tangible commitment of the government towards it. So if the government can afford to delay it up to December 4, then they are no longer under pressure to do whatever. They could always say, we haven't seen the report. So nobody can judge it. It's not ready, it's not ready. When actually it is the willingness that's not ready.
Was the report meant to actually make a political decision during elections? No.
Well, it was always...
It wasn't. It was going to play a part.
It turned out to be a political...
Exactly. Yes. And this is the thing. It had turned out that way. And that is not the doing of TRRC.
Well, people would say, because some of your members are interested in politics. So that's really, play into the hands of the critics, and then of government. The government also is interested in clinging onto power, and they don't want to act on it. That can cost them support from the people who might be affected, or group of people who might be perceived to be affected by its recommendations. So that's why.
So you see, there is this concept that probably when the report comes out, it will be so damning that government will not implement it. That is the perception that people have.
Exactly.
I don't know where they got that perception from. Maybe because they have been following the the hearings.
The public sessions, are suggesting that serious things have happened. And suddenly serious recommendations would have to be made. So people can always join that.
Yeah, but that's it. You see in politics, what is advantage to another is a disadvantage to another. Okay. So if both sides are pulling, they are all pulling for their interests. Exactly. This is the fact. Because if you say now, government doesn't want to have this thing because it will play into their political thing and they wanted to win the elections before they do, the same thing, the opposition wanted it out so that it can be so damning that it can give them more chance. Okay. This is what you can say. Yeah. But you cannot change that. That is what I'm saying. That cannot be changed, and that is not in the hands of the TRRC at the moment. What is important with the TRRC now is to provide a credible report. And that report being criticized before it's even out is unfair because they don't know. And this is why the people who are siding with the government are also saying, how can we implement a report that we don't even know what is in it? You see, so this is what is bringing all of these things. How can you say somebody to implement something that you don't know what is and he doesn't know? How can you say that? But you have to wait for the product to come out. You've asked somebody to do a job for you. You didn't even wait for that person to give you that product, and you started saying that this is the product, and because the product is supposed to be in this way and that way. That is the thing.
But the very fact that the report is taking ages to come out, it also, give momentum to suspicion. That
yes, suspicions will come out all the time, because from the beginning of the TRRC, others call it a witch hunt, others say it is illegal. So that cannot change. That is there from the beginning. Some other people said the commission in its entirety is pointless. Yes. There are people who say that it's pointless, this is a waste of time, waste of money and resources, and that wouldn't change. So this is what I'm saying. That is not the doing of the TRRC. This is our political things, and they are bound to occur. What is more important now is the TRRC to go on, do a report, and the report to be fair as they are supposed to be, and then the recommendations be there to the best of the ability of the commissioners, that they have agreed that this is the recommendation we want government to implement. And that is more important. I think that is where the focus is supposed to be.
The trouble is, when is that again? Since you have given it no date now.
Yeah, we don't know. At first we thought we knew. We realized we didn't know, because if we knew that we were not going to finish on the 30th, we would not tell people we finish on the 30th. So now we don't know, and I think it's the commissioner think that they do not want to be put under pressure of a date, and that is why they are leaving it open. It can finish today, tomorrow, whenever, October, December, November, January, February. Nobody knows. I don't know. I cannot give you that answer. But hopefully it will finish. It will finish. It will finish. It will finish, yes.
Okay, there we go. Essa Jallow is the communications director and the spokesperson for the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission, TRRC, who once again failed to deliver on the presentation of their report on September the 30th. We will have more of this, I'm sure, in future. Thank you very much, Essa Jallow, for joining us. When the brunch returns, we visit another major topic. An opinion poll, pre-election that is, have indicated that the NPP is likely to win the next presidential election in December. How do they come by such a report, and what are the views of the stakeholders? That is the second part of the brunch, just after this break.
Because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost, we have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Karaba Avenue and Brusubi Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635 9906.
Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties. EJ Investments.
Islamic microfinance is becoming an increasingly popular mechanism for poverty alleviation, especially for developing countries around the world. This microfinance service adheres to the principles of Islam as a form of social responsibility. Yona Islamic Microfinance is the Islamic microfinance of choice in the Gambia, trustworthy and reliable. At Yona Islamic Microfinance, we provide savings products, current accounts, financing products in conformity with Islam. In addition, Yona Islamic Microfinance also offers local and international remittances, takaful fund, management of zakat, management of awqaf, trading and investment, and building of strategic partnerships to bring financial services to the doorstep of the poor with donor projects, madrasas, youth organizations, women groups, and farmer organizations. Make a choice with Yona Islamic Microfinance today. For more information on Yona Islamic Microfinance, call 377-2151 or 9832-151 or visit Yona head office at Tipa Garage, Bakote, or visit any Yona branch located countrywide near you.
Welcome back to the Brunch on Fatou Live. I'm Lamin Cham, and continuing our program after hearing from the TRRC on the reasons behind the latest delay in presenting their report, we move to another report, and this is a pre-opinion poll survey conducted here in the country by a group whose representative or chairman indeed, Lamin Dampha, is with us in the studio. Lamin, welcome to the Brunch.
Thank you very much.
Good. This survey has been the talking point in town over the last few days because it shows, according to the surveys, that it is likely from among the people who they spoke to that the National People's Party of President Barrow is likely to win the December elections. They're going to be followed by the UDP, etc., onwards. So we first want to know, what is this group, what do they do, and how do they come by this verdict? So, Mr. Dampha, welcome. Let's start straight with you introducing this group. What is this group?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me at Fatou. This group is called Center for Policy, Research and Strategic Studies.
Otherwise shortened as
CepRass.
CepRass.
Yes, it was launched by the faculty staff of the School of Business and Public Administration. At the time
of the University of the Gambia.
Yeah. I mean, let me.
Oh, go again. We understand there are issues with his mic. He was inaudible. Mr. Dampha, Lamin Dampha, was chairman in the survey that was conducted that we talked about. Now, can you please start by introducing what is this group's name and what do they do?
Thank you very much. This center is called the Center for Policy Research and Strategic Studies, CepRass.
Okay.
It is launched by the School of Business and Public Administration. But before I go further, I just want to make a disclaimer.
Okay. Do we still have issues with the audio? Oh, so we may have to start again. Like I said, of course, we are in the studio with members of the group that conducted the survey. Lamin Dampha is from the group. Lamin, start by telling us what this group is all about.
Yeah, this group, Center for Policy Research and Strategic Studies, which was launched in 2016 by the faculty staff of the School of Business and Public Administration.
The University of the Gambia.
Yes, but I must add that this group is independently owned, managed and run by a constituted group. So meaning we're not-for-profit organization and we are run by the constituted group. It is not under the control of the university, as it has been reported in some quarters that the study was funded by the university. Even though we are the staff of the university, but the center is independently run and managed and and controlled by a constituted group. That is important to make clear. Now, the center was launched sometime in 2016. And the idea was at the time is to enhance the research culture at the university. And then the center over the years have been involved in quite a number of research, consultancy and professional training. And over the years as well, we have also collaborated with a lot of institutions. So the center already had made some significant stride in the area of research, because this opinion poll was not the first research activities we have done in the past. We have collaborated both, research centers outside the Gambia and of course even within the Gambia. You should also remember that CepRass is the national partner for Afrobarometer.
Exactly.
And then Afrobarometer, as you know, also do process some research, on governance issues. We have also collaborated with Center for Evaluation and Development. This is a reputable research center in Germany, and currently, in fact, we are doing a study on returning migrants. You understand? And in fact, the idea of this telephone survey that we have done, we have done that kind of research in the past with some technical backstopping by our German counterpart, which have trained our enumerators how to do survey. Because of COVID-19, some of these strategies have come into play. And our enumerators who were recruited to conduct this research, are actually people with quite good experience in data collection.
So one can say that the process has been as credible and as efficient as possible.
Exactly. And then if you look at the whole research itself, it was done by 4 eminent research scholars with the center. Okay. In fact, at our center, each time we have a research work, one thing we look at is academic proficiency
of the researchers.
And also, we also look at their experience in terms of research and the proven track record. Now, if you look at the team itself, which included myself, Dr. Hamid Dawra, Dr. Mustafa Jawadi, and Mr. Yusuf FJ Diba, who have proven track record in terms of research. Now, for example, looking at Hamidu has done quite a number of research. In fact, he's a World Bank researcher, have done a lot of them. Also, is a reviewer, one of the reputable journals around the world. Mustafa has also done a lot of research, both locally and internationally. You understand? These are very credible people. Look at Diba. Diba has been he has worked all his life in government, even UN system. So these are quite eminent people with a very proven track record. And then the whole exercise itself, is quite scientific, and then it is such that we cannot just do it in cheaply.
Okay. The devil is in the details, so let's go into the details. This started from the 27th of July to the 10th August. That is the time it took you to do this survey.
Yes.
27th July to the 10th of August. It's less than a month.
Yes.
Good. And you said it covers selected households identified in the sampling stage. Overall, the exercise covered a total of 969 households who were interviewed. 28% of them are women, and women respondents. That means the people you have interviewed, 28% of them are women, and 63% of them are between the ages of 18 and 14. Now, one must say that 27th July, 10th August is quite a very short period for anybody to come out with a national survey.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, what do you say to that?
Yes, if you look at the design of the opinion survey itself, what we did was the design was adapted from the most recent, integrated household survey of G.
And of course, we must not forget that you use telephone to do this.
Yes.
Telephone.
That is what I'm saying.
Okay.
We use the most recent integrated household survey with telephone numbers as the frame.
Okay.
All right. So if you know what I mean, because we have about 14,191 households from 8 local government areas within 48 districts in the Gambia.
That's quite representative enough.
Yes, and now what we did in our methodology was we do what we call a multi-stage sampling design was used where in the first stage, households were stratified according to the LGs. And at each
the local government
areas, and at each stratum, you know, a proportional sampling was used to select a representative sample of, you know, of districts. Now, in the second phase, you know, in the second, what we also did, you know, after the proportionate way, we also, at the end of the day, we try to random the number of households were selected from each district. So, if I could explain that again, what we did is a multiple stage. One stage, the first stage, what we did was households were stratified in the LGAs, that is the local government area. And secondly, those, you know, households which are stratified as LGAs, we also have what we call, and each of those LGAs as well, we have what we call a proportional sampling, you know, was used to have a representative sample of districts. Now, from those districts now, finally, we assign numbers to each district. That's where they are picked. And now, I should also add that what we also did was also to oversample. Now, that oversampling will be within the same district, because you should understand that in a telephone survey, you know, there is a high chances that you may not have 100% respondent. So now, if district, that is your final stage of sampling, are oversampled, so it means now those that you cannot get will be replaced. So it's like a replacement. At the end of the day, your sample size of 969 will be achieved. And that is, you know, how we're able to get our sample size.
So, what do you say as your critics, or people, not just critics, but who want to analyze how credible your survey is, if they said you spoke to more NPP supporters than any other party, that's why you come to this, would you say then that because of the widespread nature of your survey, if you are criticized that you probably spoke to more NPP reporters, rather NPP supporters, wouldn't it be justified then from your end to say that then there are more NPP supporters in the country?
No, because if you look at the survey itself, what you need to understand is the fact that
I'm talking from your people's standpoint. That is, if they criticize you, or let's say they observe that you must have spoken to more NPP supporters. You said your survey is so widespread in the country that if it happens that you spoke to more NPP supporters, then it's also very much the case that there are more NPP supporters in the country then.
Before that, I just want to put something into context about the sample size itself. Because it is not by, you know, we just, you know, pick like that. No, we heavily rely on our sampling formula that you know, that we use. Because one thing also I just want to emphasize is our sampling was determined relying on the Yamani formula.
Who is that?
You know, I mean, if those who are understand statistics,
yes,
we understand. And in fact, you know, in both cases, 5% sampling error was assumed. So overall, if you observe, we have 34 districts and 969 households were selected for the opinion poll. So, I mean, also to account for the non-responses, just like I've said, you know, we oversample by 50%.
So that you can always replace.
Yes. So, if, for example, like you are suggesting that if we have spoken to more NPP, you know, then the likely winner will be NPP.
Yes.
I mean, that is, if that is so, that's not by our design.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The sampling was very rigorous and very scientific.
Okay.
You understand? And then we have using, you know, sampling formula that are known, you know,
standard, international standard. So,
you know, the Yamani.
So there's no, that's what, there's no doubt that your project has really lived up to international standards, and you rigorously and thoroughly have used all the international standards of survey. There's no doubt about that. But surveys are not always correct, isn't it?
Yes. You see, one thing also we should understand, these are opinion survey.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it might have its feelings.
Yes.
You understand? And specifically, we are using a telephone call.
Yes.
Now, in fact, I remember during dissemination, a question was asked about some of the challenges that we have encountered in the survey.
Yes.
I mean, I have to make this point again. You know, I mean, it is also a good practice in this kind of survey to do what we call onboarding. Get to the household, make them understand that, you know, you will call them and this is what they are doing. Even though that was not done because of, you know, some logistics.
Yeah.
But, you know, by and large, if you look at the rate of the responses have been very high, even though there are some, you know, pocket of cases where some people flatly reject to take part. But again, even that, we ensure that their consent are sought, and before we proceed on the interview, they have to be ready, you know, in their right mind to take part.
Okay.
You
All
understand?
right. We will come to the details further, because you still believe that you said it's 43% of the population, am I right, who you have one, and there's still a 40% which are not decided. Can you clarify that?
Yes, I mean, you see, I don't know, because the survey has looked at a host of issues, but this particular, the likely candidate to win has dominated the
whole issue.
The media space.
I see how
exactly,
and I want to talk about that too.
And I'm surprised that people are talking about that. Even
I'm coming to talk about
what the new government should, you know, should consider when they come into power. The youth unemployment has been issued.
Are all there.
But people are only talking about the likely.
Yes, of course, because you can see, of course, no surprise there, you know.
All right. You see, we have asked two questions in this area. One, we asked, you know, your intention to vote. Your intention to vote. And the other question was asked was, who do you think is likely going to win?
Okay. So it's like your intention to vote.
Yes. So the 43% was looking at the intention to vote. Were undecided. And the 40 was looking at the likely. Now, if you look at the undecided, it is quite large. You're talking about 40% undecided on a likely winner.
Or they will not commit themselves to who will win.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, I mean, so that itself, in fact, we did a further profiling of those undecided voters to see, you know, where which side you can categorize. Yes, okay. And in our report, we have indicated most of them are in the West Coast region. Okay. These are undecided. Like if you go to URR, for example, and CRR North, you know, the undecided are very limited. Very limited. You know, they're very limited. Okay. But you know, again, you know, this is quite open. And I've said, you know, political parties can take stock of this. Yeah. This is not a win for NPP.
That is why I brought in two gentlemen from
NPP is taking let's say 29% of the likely to win, and UDP we are talking about 13%. But look at the undecided voters. 40%. In whose stronghold are they in? You know, we are not here to talk about those issues. Understand. The politicians will do that. They will do their own work. And the whole idea is of this survey, you know, is to find a platform wherein, you know, political parties and other stakeholders can find a credible data where they can use to analyze all in the interest of the Gambia. Good. These are national issues.
Good. We will come to what your survey shows about the IEC. But now I want to cross over to the direct stakeholders of this survey, like Mr. Dampha said, those who should make it a business to learn and even plan from this. I know this is music to the ears of Seedy Njie of NPP, and probably an obituary announcement to Sheriffo Sonko of the UDP. But then take your time, Seedy. Do you went to town dancing yesterday that this poll has so far concluded that the NPP is the winner of the elections? You must have really increased your menu of dinner yesterday when you had it.
Certainly not, because it's not a surprise. You know, the survey was done in July and October.
Between July and
October. So if the survey was done last month, it would have been a different vote here, because even those at the time who have not decided, they've decided now, and they've decided to vote for NPP. I want to congratulate them, because it's not a novel idea, because as indicated, they've been doing it. And I want to congratulate him. I never knew, I've never met him, and they are engaged in these things. I read about CepRass, something like that, and I read about Afrobarometer, collaborating with CepRass to do their, I don't know, whether reading, I don't know how they call it, when they do these things, and then they will contact CepRass to do, I don't know, the finished game or whatever for them. So congratulations for the first time meeting those people who are engaged in such a daunting challenge. And I think, you see, as daunting as the research is, it could have been done even in 5 days, even in 2 days, even in 1 day. Because if they have enough man resources to do it throughout the country, to send their personnel or to, for example, if they had 9,000 people who would call 9,000 households, it can be done within 30 minutes. And then the rest will be compilations. But what is certain is that the people of this country, the Gambian people, are grateful to a grateful leader. When you looked at the current status quo, the number of Gambians who decided to vote for President Adama Barrow, his NPP's led Grand Coalition for December 4, 2021, have surpassed 100% of their survey. But nonetheless, the survey shows the reality, the actual fact on the ground, and that based on the development trajectory, programs and policies of the National People's Party and President Adama Barrow. You know, he indicated something fundamental. URR not, so CRR not, URR, and of course CRR in general and not bank. There are few people who, at the time, in July, August, first week of August, who were undecided. I can assure you today, there is no, if they repeat, if they are to go out to the field to conduct another research, they won't see any undecided voter in those regions.
And everybody would have decided to vote for NP.
I am telling you, no doubt about it. Okay. In fact, you know, there was this secret recording of Madiba in which he was highlighting or he indicated few constituencies in the country where he thinks is a done deal for President Adama Barrow. And he talked about the Nyomis and the Jokadu. He indicated the Sabasanjal and the two Salums. He talked about Nyanija and Nyan. You know, all these are not on part of the country. And he said Jimara and Yuara. So that goes to say that to write the survey. That even the national executive members of the UDP indicated that it's a done deal for President Adama Barrow. Yeah,
and you are.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he talks about there are, in that 40% who are not decided, most of them are western part of the Gambia, that is West Coast and the KM. And when you looked at it from July to date, one could conclude, there are political pundits and analysts who've concluded that a huge, let's even say, even up to campaign time, you have a particular number of people who have not decided to vote for any candidate. But let us be honest to ourselves. We should always count and factor that the incumbent will have a big number of that. And 29 to 31% of those who've decided nationally on all the regions, in all the regions, as per their survey, have decided to vote for NPP, and that for them the likely person to win is NPP. That alone, even with the other 40% divided among political parties, and mark you, the incumbent also have some percentage. That alone is a done deal for the NPP. And you know, the way they did the sample, he talked about something, but I think it's the best form of doing the sample without even going to the household. Because if you go to the household and talk to them, they might communicate to some people who might want to influence them. But you see, when you call them, that's like you are doing a random sampling. Yes. You call to say, we want to talk about this, we want, if you are willing to give us your honest opinion, without giving them time for other people to come and influence them. So for us, we want to congratulate them and congratulate every Gambian who engages in such an initiative, you know, and we are grateful considering the fact that we've just concluded
Yeah, we will come to that. This is your reaction to this.
Okay, our reaction as a party, we congratulate them, and we are so that more Gambians are willing to vote for the NPP, and that comes December 4th, each and every constituency in this country will vote for President Adamo. We will win in all the constituency. Take it to the bank. You know, sometimes you might say something, people, it can be palatable for them, others not.
Yeah.
But you can take it to the bank. And there are a lot of factors. We can go into the factors and enumerate them. The reason why in each constituency in this country, the grand coalition led by NPP will win.
Sheriffo Sonko of the UDP. How do you react to this survey?
Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Cham, for inviting me here. Anyway, I say congrats to my brother, Mr. Dampha. All what I have to say is the entire survey is bogus. And I base it on fact that the entire survey they have done is completely bogus. And in fact, they said they did the survey through telephone. We've all seen there have been a lot of surveys. There have been a lot of opinion polls in radios, in televisions, in online medias. You understand? We Gambians do participate. And in fact, there was even an opinion poll which was set up by an NPP supporter. That is Demansa. That one also was even won by UDP. Anyway, the way they did it, the results they have, yes, one should expect such results too. Because what happened is, you know, in the when people say incumbency, and these are people who are sitting in their houses, you call them. You call them. And do you expect that some people you will call them, you understand, they will think the guy calling them is linking with the government. And the government sitting is NPP. So you have to understand, the government sitting is NPP. So if I'm sitting in my house, you call me and you're asking me, which party are you supporting? Do I know exactly the person I'm speaking with? Who is that person? Who sent that person? We all have to think about that. And the government in sitting is NPP. Maybe the guy you're calling, his uncle, and everybody know about this number talking. Maybe the guy is called, his uncle is a minister. Maybe in their compound, someone is in their compound who is a permanent secretary. Do we expect that person to tell you that UDP is going to win an election? So the number, that 13% they have for UDP, count that 13% as a win. Because if people, count that 13% as a win, because if that is their results. Because now, if those people can say plainly that they are going to vote for UDP, and 40% of the people who are undecided, those 40% of the people, the reason why they don't want to speak to them, do you know? It's not that they don't have a choice. They have a choice. 2 months to election. Or maybe whatever. They said they did it, they started the survey from on the 26th of July to on the 10th of August. That survey delay up to now, when the president finished the nationwide tour. That's the time they are releasing that results to the Gambian people. Do you think, did these people think that we are fool? We are not fool. And in fact, this survey, this is not the first time. And he said it clearly here, they have a link with Afrobarometer. Those people did it here during the mayor's election in Banjul. And they said the person who is going to take last, which is Rohim Malik Law. Rohim Malik Law is now the mayor, of Banjul. They say Laiba is going to be next to Rohim Malik. Rohim Malik is going to take 3rd position. Laiba took 2nd position. So this is why I said all what these people, all the results they've given to government people is completely bogus. We as UDP, we are a very responsible party, and we have done our survey. That is what exactly Seedy Njie is trying to say. Regarding the audio, whatever audio he say he have from Ibrahim Madiba, we have done our survey, and we know our weakening points. The only base NPP have in this country, the only base they are hoping, even Seedy Njie has repeated it here, that's URR. And we know exactly how we are going to deal with URR. And we are on that. And in West Coast here, it's the only place during our survey, the only place we have a weekend, we don't have much supporters is Wellinga. That is all Union constituency. We did our survey. And this survey was done by independent people. And the places like Salung is mentioned in Jensen. But now if you go to those places, it's completely changed. Because our chairman in that place, Ndogoroba has done a lot. So that has done a lot. Yes, no. I said the chairman there. We have a chairman there who lives in Kauru.
Okay.
So the guy is doing a lot. Many of the places, look, places like Salung. No, because he thinks Seedy Njie thought. I'm coming. Yes, Seedy Njie thought they are winning when they are not winning. So, Mr. Cham, all what I am telling you, and I will repeat it again, the entire survey is bogus, and the winning candidate for this coming election on the 4th is UDP.
Okay, Mr. Dampha, you may like to do some clarifications.
Yeah.
He is suggesting that probably your survey is inaccurate and prone to mistakes. For example, he said, if you call people, in the culture and the mind of the people in the country, that the incumbent is always seem to be the greatest, some fear the incumbent, or some may not like to openly dissociate themselves from the political lining of the incumbent. So you may have called somebody who probably may not be willing to say, no, I'm not voting for the incumbent. So on that basis, he said, you may come across many people who might choose the incumbent when actually they are not. And of course, he said the 40% that you said have not indicated how they will vote or who will win, probably cannot be counted to be NPP sympathizers because they wouldn't have any reason to preserve or to prevent, holding back their opinion if they were NPP.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You may have clarifications.
Yes, on both sides.
Yes,
I must add that
this is not political.
I may not respond to the political issues on this side. I live with the politicians to do
that. Yes.
Whether bogus or not, that is the opinion of them, which I don't want to. But the clarification I want to make is the fact that of course the survey cannot be 100% perfect. You understand? You must have some issues here and there. But notwithstanding the scientific nature of this, to a greater extent, we can call the survey very credible. You understand? But I must also admit that there could be some issues here and there. But one thing though we do, we only interview respondents who are willing, at their free will, to talk to us. And in a way, the enumerators are well trained. You talk about the number of days. We have a sizable number, 12 enumerators. And the idea is every day they are making 8 interviews for each of those enumerators. And they are all seated at one place. There are some control measures we have put in place. All the questionnaires are designed and put in a survey solution. And the quality control is the supervisor will assign the numbers to various enumerators. When they assign, they will make call, he coordinate the entirety. And now when these interviews are conducted, he will check to see for the correctness and the apt of those forms that were filled. If there are issues, they will address it. At another level, at the headquarter level, where the coordinators, the researchers themselves, also check on a daily basis to ensure that there is consistency in the response. Where there are issues, the forms are rejected for interview to be redone again. You understand? And we ensure that the enumerators involved do it professionally. And in fact, we are all together at the time. So, the telephone survey itself is not a new thing. To CepRass, we have done in the past, and our enumerators are trained both locally and internationally. They are highly proficient, in this kind of game. One thing though I can emphasize, at CepRass, we have no control over the views of people. Whether it is an honest view or not, we have not control. But we ensure that, they are prepared well to ensure that they respond, at their own free will and with their, honest opinion. So whether that honest opinion is right or wrong, you know, that is not our problem. We only analyze the data based on what was given, and we do our utmost to ensure that, you know, the data collected are credible.
Thank
So,
you.
what were some of the...
Now, we have all had your reactions. We are going to move to another segment of the report, which is the IEC, because it's very important that you have conducted a survey on the work of the IEC. And two topics I want to share. You said the Independent Electoral Commission was gauged to have done a very good job so far in the administration of the upcoming election. And then you went on to say that the majority of the respondents believe the IEC will conduct a free and fair election in December. And then you said also a large percentage of the respondents believe that the IEC did enough, which means they have done sufficiently well not to register foreigners.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Njie, what is your reaction? Did you think the IEC have done a good job in the registration process? Do you believe that they are going to deliver a free and fair elections? And do you believe they have done enough not to register foreigners as the surveys indicate?
Yes, as a party, we concur with the survey, and as a commander...
On the part of the IEC?
On the part of the IEC, and as Commander-in-Chief and President of the Republic of the Gambia, who is also the flag bearer and party leader of the National People's Party, committed to ensuring that there is free, fair and transparent elections, and that government will give IEC all the necessary logistics, financial and material support. And that during the voter registrations, we agree that they have done enough to ensure that as per the constitutional provisions, that's the Election Act, they have registered people based on that. And as such, we've not filed in and we have not attempted to go to the revising court, as opposed to UDP, who do not know the legal procedures and processes of that, and they were rejected based on their legal ignorance of the law. So therefore, and also we are convinced that they have done all preparations.
What do you mean they were rejected by it? Because the IEC said nobody complained.
They wanted...
You want to say the UDP wanted to complain?
Yes, they wanted to go to court, but they, you know, there is procedures and processes. As if you want to petitions and you want to file in, you know, to revise in courts, there is a duration that the law stipulated outside the durations. Therefore, whatever actions you want to take.
So you mean they waited until that election?
Yes, they didn't even realize that there is a...
you know about it. Your intelligence told you that.
Yeah, I know about it.
Okay, what about this matter? What about this matter that they did not... are you not bothered? The IEC themselves admitted that over 2,000 people registered.
You said they did not what?
No, I mean,
no,
are you not
foreigners?
These people did not say that. I'm saying you agreed that the IEC did a good job. But they themselves admitted that over 2,000 people registered multiply.
Yes, when you know that one, as per the survey, the survey is talking about best, they did great not to register foreigners, and also preparation. So these things is people who registered multiple times. That's what the IEC told us.
Yes.
But they did a great job in identifying them. In fact, they have been warning people.
But still now they have not told people what happened to those.
They have been warning people.
They said they have been allowed to register at one place.
You know, they have been telling people that if you register twice, you will be, there's going to be alarm, and then you will be caught and you will be rejected. And they told us during the preparatory, if you do this, we will notice. And people who ignored and did same, and they were noticed. So therefore...
So what did IC say to you now after the exercise? Did they tell you what happened to those 2,000?
Yes, because in over 2,000 plus. What they said was, initially they said they were going to see whether there will be punitive measures and also to delete them. And then later on there was some, you know, they had a meeting and now told us that they have been deleted. But nonetheless, as political parties...
They have not been deleted. They said they have been only allowed to be registered once.
Yes, those who registered multiple times, that have been deleted.
Yes.
So we will get to them to, as inter-party and political parties, to ask them to give us detailed names of those who have probably registered multiple times. But they have assured people, if you register multiple times, you will be noticed. And if IEC found out, you may not even be able to vote. So, and some people who agree with that, you know, even though they were trying to beat the system, But that is, you may not disenfranchise them. But also as a punitive, others also argue that as a punitive measures and deterrent for would-be offenders in the future, they should have been denied the right to vote this time around. So there are, but nonetheless, as per the survey, we believe that IEC have done enough based on our legal requirement for somebody to acquire documentations, which of course clearly stipulated citizens of the Gambia. And based on the constitutional provision, they have registered people. So based on that, you cannot say they have registered any non-Gambian.
The third one they said is that the electoral body did very well in stopping people who are foreigners from registering. You believe that?
I really believe that anybody who may not have the legal standing to acquire a voters card have been denied accessing the voters card.
But the IEC said they have no powers in that. They said, they said it is, if you turn up with a Gambian document, they are bound to register you.
That's why I say legal standing. So if you have any document as per the legal provisions as to how a Gambian should acquire, when you come, you are deemed a Gambian unless proven otherwise. So anybody who presented him or herself before any IEC official for voter registration with those documentation as per the constitutional and other legal provision, you are deemed to be Gambian until otherwise.
Therefore, do you agree that the IEC did very well with the registration exercise?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Cham. Yes, the IEC did very well during the registration process. Because I was part of the monitoring team of UDP.
UDP?
Yes.
The so-called junglers.
Yeah. We were called,
say you are junglers.
Yeah, we were called
black and black.
Yes,
black
we were called blacks for reasons because
okay.
Because we stopped many people, we stopped many foreigners not to
That's
vote.
why I'm coming now. Let's start with this one. Do you agree that they did a very good job in registration? You agree with that?
Yes, we agreed that the IEC did a very good job during the registration. They did a great job. No, I am coming, Mr. Cham. You see, I mean, IEC have done their utmost best to even stop some of the people who were being pushed by NPP.
No, that is not.
Look, this foreign voting, this foreign voting was encouraged.
Listen to him.
Look, you have to listen. When you're talking, I always.
No, it's okay now. I will stay quiet.
Come on.
You have the floor.
When you are talking, I will stay quiet. So if you have confidence in yourself, you have to be quiet when I'm talking.
Okay, I will come later because that's a serious.
No.
The question is.
No, I will come later because
Seedy himself.
You come to listen. The question is, you agree with the survey that the IEC did a very good job in registration. Next question, before I come to the foreigners, is according to the survey, many people believe that the IEC will deliver a free and fair election. Do you agree with that first, before we come to the foreigners?
Yes, I agree.
You agree with that?
Yes, I agree that the IEC is going to deliver free and fair election. We agree on that.
You had no problem with, according to them, defunct or defaced or unused voters cards, or absolute voters cards.
No, Cham. The fact is, Cham.
They said they have registered. They have problems with people. 2,000 people registering multiple.
Yes, they have problems with all those with all those problems. We trust in them. What is more important here now is we know the number of people who have the registration, and it's only those people who are going to vote during the election. And we already know that we have numbers. We have UDP, and nothing can stop those numbers not to vote. We believe in that. And look, I just want to come. Okay, like Seedy was saying here. He said, I mean, because of UDP, because of our ignorance in law. He said because of our ignorance in law, this is why we want to take some people to court, and then the IEC reject or whatever.
Not IEC. I didn't say IEC.
You realize that it's not possible legally.
Yeah,
that is completely false. That is completely false. Look, Mr. Cham, UDP has been here.
But UDP
UDP
they found in need, they will go. So why didn't you go?
This is why I'm coming. UDP have not even attempted UDP have not even attempted. Look.
But they said if there is a need, they will go.
Yes, if there is a need.
Yes.
But we know the number of numbers we have collected, the number of foreigners or illegal registered we have collected from various places. We know it. But the number is very limited. The number is very limited. So we feel it. Look, it's not necessary for us to take some of those things to court. What Mr. Njie is saying here, I'm saying is completely false. UDP have been here since 1996. And there has been revising code in this country in 96. There have been revising code in this country in 2011. In Jarasoma, there have been revising code there, and UDP took many people to court. So if UDP doesn't know the gaps, like the number of days for revising code, do you think they will take those people to court during those days? So what Mr. Njie is saying here is completely false. UDP have not even attempted to take one single person to court, and even our admin secretary have said this in one of our meetings in Suwango. He said UDP have decided not to take anybody to the revising court.
I will give him the number of people that you... I will grant an interview to the Standard and give you the details.
The issue about did the IEC themselves did enough, as the survey indicated, to stop that?
Yes, okay. The IEC, what the survey is saying, for me, I'm not much interested about this survey. You understand?
You already said it's bogus.
Yeah, it's bogus. I'm not, you know why, Cham? I just want to talk about the reality. I want to talk about the reality of the situation on the ground. All what I'm saying, IEC have done their best to stop, to make sure that only Gambians get our voters card. With all the pressure they have from NPP, you understand? They did their utmost best to make sure that, you understand, only Gambians get our voters card. We've all seen Seedy Njie in some of the polling stations. Try to force IEC staff to register foreigners.
Oh, Lamin Cham, that
yes.
one.
Yes,
okay.
yes, it happens. And we've all seen Dampha also.
No, Lamin Cham,
in Bondali. Dampha also did in Bondali. He even have a problem with an IC staff in Bondali. Dampha. Why all those things? It's because they want to force, they want to register foreigners, they want foreigners to get our national document. This is why UDP set up a monitoring team. And we know what that monitoring team have done. Because we are crisscrossing everywhere to make sure that only Gambians would get our voters card. This is why at the end of it, when the registration was finished, the president was so angry. He was even standing in a platform attacking our people. Saying that those people are Americans or whatever. How many Americans are in his government? How many Americans are in his NPP? Mamuna Sise is an American. She has an American passport. Alkali Conte have an American passport. So why attacking Ibrahim Adiba? Because the job Ibrahim Adiba was doing, Ibrahim Adiba was trying to make sure that only Gambians get our voters card. One of the chief in Nyanija, one of the chief in Nyanija on Njie also have a problem with an IC staff. All this happened because we were on the ground. Seedy Njie was, in Brikama also, Seedy Njie was found there trying to force to register people. Is he an alcalo? Is he an alcalo to be carrying those stamps and the like? But all those allocations came here.
So what did the IEC do?
But all of them,
the survey said the IEC did very well to stop that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The IEC did very well to stop that, but NPP was trying to register. Many of the foreigners, they were, look, this is why they even attack look, imagine, NPP is the government right now. I think the government should do their utmost best to make sure that only Gambians get our voters card. The government should warn foreigners to disease themselves from getting our voters card. So if the government doesn't do that, and Gambians, patriotic Gambians, wrote to the Senegalese embassy, I think the government should applaud those people for doing that. But the president even attacked those people. Why did the president attack them? Because he was hoping that they want to register many Senegalese to get our voters card. And we said no. And the Senegalese ambassador also came out and said yes. And warned all Senegalese not to involve themselves into the Gambian voter registration. But it's true.
Yeah,
Seedy,
yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah,
before we go, because another interesting thing.
Yeah, he made some.
Yeah.
He made some serious allegations. You know, when you are ignorant of law or processes and procedures, when you hear people in the bantabas or woos, looking forward, that's what you carry to an important places or forum. And as an aspiring leader, whether young or old, you must be guided by those tenets that as a leader, not any rumor that you hear you authenticate. It's defy logic.
No, it's not
Even
rumor.
for a-
It's not rumor. No, it's not rumor. No, it's not rumor.
You have it, I'm coming to it. We are coming to it. Yeah, go ahead. Seedy,
It
come to the
defies,
point.
it defies logic, even for a 7-year-old child. If anybody comes to you and tells you Seedy Njie went to Brikama and he has stamp as an alcalo or chief, you know that is rubbish. Then IC would have make a press release or the police would have arrested me. That's rubbish. I have never been to Brikama, in fact, for it.
Manduar, was it?
No, he said Brikama.
No, when I say Brikama, that means there's Manduar. Seedy, you cannot dodge from this.
No, listen,
Everybody's seen you. Everybody has seen you in Manduar. And when we say Brikama, it's Manduar.
You have your say. Seedy,
I went to Manduar.
you went to
Yes.
Manduar, yes. And in the
Because
aftermath,
our
there
agent,
was-
no wait,
You-
because of, no let me come
Explain
in.
that.
No, let me come in. Our agents, they had tried to, the people of Manduar to wall off to acquire voters card from Manduar, Mandinka, but they were being barred. And when this thing was brought to our attention, and as a party, I went there to find out. I went to Manduar, and then later on they said the issue is, I went to both Manduar and Lamin in respect of Babylon. And then they said also, if they are accepting the Manduar Wolof to register, they will not put the village or town, they will not put Manduar Wolof, but they will put Manduar Mandinka. So this was the issue. The alcalde of Manduar and the people of Wolof, they say the IC are adamant to do that. I said, no, there is center where you are registering. If I'm from Nyanija, Cham, and I'm registering in Banjul, the center is Banjul, but village and town should be Cham and Nyanija. That's where I come from. So I said, I don't think this is true. Let me go and find out. And I spoke to the IEC officials. So when I went to Manduar, at the Manduar Mandinka voting center, I went straight to the IEC, the IEC people. I greeted and I asked their supervisor, you can go and fact check with the IEC people. They told me, it's that guy. So I exchanged pleasantries with him, and I asked him that question. He said, yeah, but it's been corrected now. You can find out. So the village, of course, because initially I even contacted their commission. I said, this is the problem. The same commissioner for West Coast. IEC, you can ask him. And when I went to Babylon also, and when I met him, the man told me it's been corrected. I left. I get into my car and I went. I went to Lamin also, the same thing. At Lamin, the supervisor said, no, that cannot be possible. They are not going to have Babylon as their village. I said, it's not possible. That's their village. That's where they come from. I said, the center should be Lamin. I contacted Robert Second, the commissioner. I said, the IEC supervisor here is insisting that water. Then the IEC spoke to the supervisor there. I said, no, the center should be where they are getting the voters card. Whether it's in Face or Lamin, it should be. But where you are born should appear in your voters card. And then the lady was adamant, but when the commissions told them and they came there, and then it was rectified. That was the whole thing. Any polling station you see me throughout the country is purely based on some issues. I have not been to any, and let me rectify him. And he's my friend, he should not say that. It is wrong. It is not a good allegation for anybody to say that Mangi Ame stamp the tampal nini. That is not correct.
No,
I am not
no, I didn't say that it was stamping for people. It was that trying to force.
Let me finish.
Trying to force things. I didn't say that.
And then
let him withdraw that word.
I will not withdraw. You said I have stamp.
Seedy.
I said you were having, but I didn't say you were stamping.
Okay, let me come.
There's
another
this is the fact.
interesting thing there.
Okay, he said, I'm very clear here.
He said I was having stamp, but he didn't say I was stamping for people. He said I was having stamp.
Okay, we continue now.
It is wrong. I never had a stamp.
See, you were there. Let me confuse the entire situation. It's because of your presence there.
Now listen
that chaos happened.
Okay,
that chaos happened. No, he's not going to clarify anything here. What I'm saying is because of his presence there, that ignite that trouble in Mandua, and he's even saying our people.
He's denying that. Okay, let's go ahead.
Is he saying that the entire Mandua, all of INPP?
He's denying that.
And in fact,
because there are interesting things.
Yeah, and in fact, both Mandua and Babylon, what I went for was rectified, and I want to thank the IC officials who saw my point and realized that it was the right thing and it was done, and I was happy. And in fact, Mandua Wolof not only indicated in their voters card, but also in fact IC created a polling center in Mandua Wolof. So I want to thank them, and I'm proud of that. On the issue of, he talks about the president talked about foreigners. No, what the president indicated was that when someone is a dual citizen, you are a citizen of Gambia and a citizen of the United States, you have the right to acquire voters card. That's what the president indicated. And for us as a party, and even the Human Rights Commission, condemned the black team from the United Democratic Party. For us, we don't condemn when
no, listen.
What, UN?
Listen.
The Human Rights Commission, I mean. I'm not saying UN there. The National Human Rights Commission. That
on which of their reports? On which of their reports?
Let me clarify that.
On which of their reports?
On which
of their reports? You have to make it clear.
Okay, I
have to make it clear.
The Human Rights Commission indicated. No, let me finish first.
Because that will help.
Let me finish first.
Human Rights said
yes.
It is not proper for anybody to go
and profile
and said and determine that Mr. X is foreigner. That's what they said.
And we were not profiling.
Okay.
We were not profiling. We were not profiling.
Go ahead. You said what the president.
We were not profiling.
The government.
What the president said.
We were not profiling.
What the president.
Now listen. What the government of the.
What the president said.
I want to respond to that. The government of the, among other things such as those with multiple citizenship, etc. He said the government did not make it their business, and they should lead in ensuring that no foreigner registered in our process. And it has been said at the time, to be fair with them, that the government, no government official have committed themselves to say exactly we don't want foreigners here. Why wasn't that difficult for the government or yourself?
No, the government, during electoral process and procedures, whether voting or registering or campaign, IC have the sole responsibility and mandate. And in fact, they are provided with security officers and in fact a commission officer as a liaison officer. What government indicated, whatever procedure and processes as per the law and in no certain terms, President Adam Barrow indicated, as per the provisions of the law, anybody who come up with as indicated should not be hindered. And they are encouraging and also, of course, warning that nobody should acquire, as per IEC. IEC made a statement, nobody should attempt to acquire voters' card illegally.
That was very difficult for the government to come clearly.
No, it is not. It is not. They came out clearly.
So then why? No, Njie.
I had the information minister said, I'm not going to, the spokesman said, I'm not going to say that category. Peter Gomez squeezed them to say exactly because they would not say. They said no, everything is left.
Unfortunately, I have not listened to that interview. But what I'm telling you, government gave IEC all the necessary.
So why did the president attack Sidal Job and the Kerr for going to the Senegalese embassy? Let him answer that. Why did the president attack those people?
Okay, the president have not attacked.
He attacked them.
Okay, let's listen.
Okay.
The president indicated that it is wrong to have talks or toggery going around profiling people.
No. You're taking my words.
It's the same thing. I'm coming. Okay. And it is wrong for those people to go and attack foreign embassies.
Attack.
And listen. You see, that was done in the context of the action of those Tojiri team, in the context of tribalism.
Do you know
and let me come in. And as such, it is the responsibility of the sitting government to make sure that no political party, no association or group of people will hide behind their own legal entity to go and harass, intimidate foreign government in the country. It is the sole responsibility of government to protect diplomats and diplomatic missions and their families in the country.
So are you saying that
it is the responsibility?
Before you part this, do you have what the Senegalese ambassador said?
Go ahead.
Well, he said that the visit of the UDP to his embassy was not so much to attack him.
Thank you.
But it was...
Another false information.
It was, he said, legally to express concern about the need for non-Senegalese and others to observe the rules of the country. And he said he thought that was a good idea, and he came out. When he went out throughout the country during the tour, he took the opportunity to say, look, Senegalese should not interfere in the internal affairs of the Gambia. So he did not say
that
he was attacked.
You see, the IEC and government have made it very clear, and they are explicitly expressed in our law books, that these are the people who can access and get voter card.
Okay, that's clear.
And that was done, and government is supporting in that direction.
That's clear.
And in fact, before you go, just one minute. No, it said tribalism. It said tribalism.
No, we don't want to discuss tribalism.
No, that is what he was saying.
Now, if somebody raised...
Visiting Senegalese embassy, it was because of tribalism?
I think time is not
What tribe? Which tribe?
We are coming. We are coming. Because another issue is this. According to you, Mr. Dampha, you said majority of the people also believe that, among other things, term limit, 45, the simple majority, you have term limits, 45% said it should be, the simple majority system, only 23% agreed on that. Everybody agreed they should have absolute majority. And you also said some of these issues were based on manifestos. You said 63% of the people, talk about the education, the electorate considered party manifesto 63%, and the education of the party leader 23%. How many of these parties have their manifestos, in fact, in the first place, known to the electors, until 63% of them can determine this one has the best?
Well, thank you very much. Again, I must say, throughout last night, I think I have been inundated with a lot of calls and concern from across the spectrum. But before I get into that, there is one clarification I also want to make, that we have never conducted any opinion poll before this. And again, with CepRass, we do not conduct. I am the executive director of CepRass, and everything that happens there, I'm in charge. I repeat, we have never...
So your relationship with Afrobarometer was just...
Afrobarometer...
national chapter of that.
But, and then Afrobarometer research is such that it is done in 37 African countries. International, and the questionnaires are the same.
You happen to be...
You only have some few national issues that come in.
But I didn't say that. I didn't say you guys did any survey before this one. I said, you said it here, that you are partnering with Afrobarometer.
I am not referring to you. I said, what I said was, there are a lot of things that happen, even on social media. And the other thing that was said was, we took the Red Malik law to court. It is not CepRass.
No,
and
he didn't say to court. He said you made a...
No, I'm not saying him. I'm trying to define other people. Okay. Because I want to use this platform... Yes, I want to use this platform to clarify, not to what you said.
Okay.
Because this is a very important platform to make those kind of clarifications.
Okay.
Now, the issue you made mention of people choosing, political manifestos, for example, 63. Of course, even not you, a lot of questions, a lot of people ask about that.
Because apparently I'm not even familiar with some parties' manifestos.
Very good.
How can 63% of the people...
even the question is, even our CepRass, we have a voter education app, and what we are trying to do is to get the manifestos of different political parties so that people can have access to those kind of information. But up to today, it is difficult to get. However, the political manifesto should be understood in the context, not actually the document. In fact, this could be the policies of the party they talk about. They are manifestos.
The rhetoric.
The rhetoric, I mean. They are manifestos. In fact, under that context, the question was asked. What are the policies? Whether it is, verbally said or, it is pronounced, in their meetings or whatever, or it is, documented, are all part of what? Manifesto.
Exactly.
So under that context, we ask that question. So it should not be surprised if majority of people choose manifesto, 63%. You understand? And again, I must also add, opinion polls are always very, very sensitive. And again, we as a center, despite whether we are supported or otherwise, will never change our position to do our professional work. We respect every view. People have criticized. It is their opinion. And we welcome that because they also have a concern. Just like I said, these are public opinion and it is not the opinion of CepRass. You understand? That should be understood. And we respect each political party, their view, and we are never going to be angry and that will never change our position. Whether we are endorsed, that does not mean we are going to lean to that party. Whether we are reprimanded, that does not mean that we're going to against that. I also want to make a point clear. Again, this was done between 27th of July and August 10. Now, a lot of dynamics have changed. You understand? And now we are also going to do a second poll that will be close to election. Maybe a lot of things could have changed. And also, the whole idea is for political parties and other stakeholders to look at the report critically and see where they can re-strategize. It is not all over for any political party. This is not a victory for NPP as such. 30% or 29%. What about those undecided? Political party can strategize and work around. It's all geared towards what? National development. We are not partisan and we are not leaning to any political party. We will continue to do our professional work without affection or ill will.
Very good. Okay. Now, very quickly, that's clear. Now I want each of you to take 5 minutes to talk about, we'll come back to you all this topic, but 5 minutes to talk about your current and recent activities. Mr. Seedy Njie, you've been around with the president, although even though he's supposed to be a meet the people store, but like you people have always argued, you cannot be separated from politics. There were political rallies all over, attacking opposition here and there, promising the sky and the ground, as politicians will always do. But there was this marriage between you and the APRC. Of course, you've been a former APRC, I'm sure that marriage is no surprise to you. But how did your people react? How would you say has been the success or otherwise of this marriage, wherever you went with APRC? I mean, you had very strange bedfellows together. When you were at the APRC, Barrow's people castigated you. There has been no words that they don't talk about you. Now you found yourself on the same platform, defending the same ideals.
No, I don't think.
Barrow's people, the coalition.
Barrow people.
The coalition, you were.
That was the coalition.
That was still part of the coalition.
Yeah, that was the UDP people.
Okay, so it was UDP people, not the coalition.
Everything is UDP.
Yeah, I think the reaction was positive because, as I indicated earlier on in my the official position of the party, that the Gambian people saw the need to reconcile, and they think it's in the best interest of national reconciliation, it's the best interest of national peace, and it's in the best interest of national security. And of course, it is in the supreme interest of national development. And when we travel across the length and breadth of the country, everybody has seen people inundated venues, of course, led by the NPP. That's the Grand Coalition. The NPP, APRC, PPP, NCP, and GPDP. So and PPP. So it was received well by the electorate, those who mattered, and of course, it wasn't received well by our opponent. Because they consider it as a done deal. Mr. Cham, it might interest you to note the argument some people are arguing are that some people might have committed some crime and that they should not be given a red carpet. We say fair enough, that is your own argument. But now tell us, among the APRC executive members and their rank and files, the ordinary supporters, tell us, who among them is an economic vampire in this country? Who was convicted by a commission or by a court for economic or implicated for an economic crime, or for human atrocities and serious human rights violation? They can't name anyone. While you criticizing us, telling us it's immoral to do that. But your morality, you have the moral authority and moral rights to celebrate people who are accused and who have been found wanting by competent commission or court in this jurisdiction for serious human rights violations and economic crimes, who were serving the government of the APRC, then as technocrats and as ministers and as such generals, but not the decent and clean executive members who are politicians in the National Assembly and at the party, and the grassroots supporters who mattered most. So for us, we are guided by the fact that the Gambia needs to move on, and that as a political party legally registered, the NPP and the APRC can enter into viable marriage. And it works well for our people, and it resonates well for every serious and for every conscious Gambian who are interested for the country to move forward.
The paradox is, well, this is not a UDP argument. The UDP will have their...
No, don't worry.
The paradox is that, I mean, you see, like you said, that is true. Fabakary Tombong Jatta, Yankuba Koli, Rambo Jatta, none of these people have been implicated in any atrocities. It was always Jammeh. But the trouble is, these people have taken Jammeh's burden now as theirs. Don't you think that is what have placed them, you know, in confrontation with people who are perceived to be victims of Jammeh? Because everybody knew that nobody in this country could ever attempt to kill or harm, beat or anybody if there wasn't a system that allowed it. And that system was headed by Jammeh. So if the APRC like for example, now I'm talking about you, Fabakary may not have done anything wrong. Everybody knows it, just like you and me supporting a party. They have every right to do that. But then of course they have said that they are going to, anything that they are going to politically must be the interest of Jammeh, who must come back. Now, this agreement you signed, people are concerned. Why don't you make it public?
No, you know, I am not going into the agreement because we've made our party position. Remember when that fake MOU was being
but where's the real one?
Was being circulated.
Where's the real one?
Can I continue?
Where's the real one?
Can I continue?
Agreement.
Can I continue?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, when this fake agreement was being circulated, and at this time...
By the UDP.
And
as you will always say. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I may want to go if...
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You know, there was this fake MOU being circulated on social media, and at this time, the National People's Party came up with its position, and I suggest that we leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Mr. He said they had a successful tour. I mean...
no, we didn't talk about it, or you talk about
but his time is finished. He was only given, look, it was only given 5 minutes. No, look, Cham, let me talk. He will come again. He will come again.
No, I don't want to come back to the issue.
No, he will come again. I just want to...
Okay.
Let me respond.
Talking about the tour. I want to know the success of the marriage. Now I want him to tell me, what do you think are the prospects for the NPP after the tour? Very quickly.
100%.
100%.
Gambians are grateful to a leader who made promises and fulfilled them.
I mean, in this country now, many people say the political parties have resorted themselves to competition of crowds. Your critics said the NPP crowds are, one, mobile, exported. People were induced with money and T-shirts to wear. You have a lot of ambience, and then it will be better for you not to fool yourself with this a crowd to conclude that you have done a very good job already. Do you agree with those critics?
I will not respond to
It's
that
not me
now.
I read it.
I will not respond to that until I finish with I respond to your first question.
Okay, that's good. Go ahead.
So, Gambian responded mainly due to the leader who made promises and fulfilled them.
Okay.
When we crossed, you may choose to agree or disagree,
Yes.
but write it and take it to the bank until 5th December, then you go and withdraw it.
I can cast it.
You cast it.
Okay.
When we crossed, thousands of Gambians line up the streets from Bara to Karawan. People came out in their numbers from their villages, line up the streets, waited for us to have a glimpse of a leader who brought an unprecedented development to their area.
Mobilized by the NPP
Those people,
advanced team.
and those people, wallahi,
They
not
came on
a
their
single car, not a single motorbike was given to them to come to the streets. President Adama Barrow arrived in Kerawan, I swear to God, after 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. It was raining heavily with thunderstorm. When it come to bridge of Kerawan, the Kerawan people are listening to me. I swear to God. When I passed, I couldn't believe it. I had to call. I said, well, there are thousands of people here waiting under this rain, thunderstorm, lightning. I swear to God. And it's reminiscence of 2011. Ghana be from Nenon.
No, 2016.
2011 from Nenon.
16, isn't it?
2011.
Okay.
Ghana be from Nenon. For Jame, Ghana be Fofulai Nen this year. For NPP, each and every constituency, I swear to God, take it to the bank and write. The NPP will win. Because the people I saw, in Munyagen, the Jokadu, Lower Nyomi and Upper Nyomi, they came where there are tens of thousands. Because they thought, in their wildest dream, remember when President Adama Barrow laid the foundation stone for the Nyomi Hakalan, that's Upper Nyomi and Jokadu Road. They said it's a political project. We've even seen a political leader say those are political projects. It will not materialize. Today, the road is being macadamized. It's been tarred. A promise made, promise fulfilled. When I was in Parliament for 10 years, there was a member of Parliament from Upper Nyomi. We do call him Hakalan. And every member of Parliament from the PPP, we call them Hakalan. Because they are common to every sitting, every day, and every adjournment. They talk about the Nyomi Hakalang Road. Today is a reality. You go to the Sanjals, the Salums, the Nyanijals, the URR, the Fuladus. You cannot believe those things. So because of the infrastructure, you can't believe the infrastructural development. So they are conscious. Our party leader indicated, you can own a political party, but you don't own the people. And not now, nobody can fool Gambians. People came out of their own volition. You cannot bring those hundreds of thousands throughout the country. People, you can mobilize them. It's fallacy. You can't do that. We don't believe in mobile crowd because we want to test our popularity. When we are going to this constituency, we will ask our people to mobilize only from that area because we wouldn't want. For example, I swear to God, I'm on record. Somebody called me, our meeting of Bubazon. They were in Nemakunku and in Sinchualaji. They said they need transport to come. But they contacted the regional office of the NPP. They said, no, that is not West Coast, that's KM. The person called me. I said, yeah, it's true. He said, no, I said, it's not possible. We don't believe in carrying national crowd to our rallies. Because Lugena bon sinit mo nga nasa bopa. Gaya nasa bopa mo gena bon sinit. And we don't, because in that way, that is the reason why we have a lot of baby cries now, Seedy Njie crying. Say, no, NPP, no, Adambaro, this is national constitutional too. It should not be politicized. Wherever a president is, whenever the president is out, you cannot divide from politics.
Very good. Now let me
So we want to thank, on behalf of our Secretary General Party leader, we want to thank all our regional structures, all our partner party, the Grand Coalition, the APRC, NPP, NRP, PPP, NCP, and GPDP.
Good.
And all our structures, from regional, constituency, ward, sub-ward, to village, and the national executive of all these political parties.
Fantastic.
We appreciate the amount of love sought to President Adama Barrow.
Good.
And we are grateful. And I can tell you, inshallah, wallahi, Allah willing, victory is certain. It's just a matter of procedures. We are grateful to the gratefulness.
So Banjul also.
Finally, Seedy, how do you, many people have wanted me to ask this question, how do you make the transition yourself personally from a man who said Adama Barrow will not be sworn in here to the man who is leading
it's unfortunate we are talking about.
He will never speak about that.
Okay.
Seedy Njie will never speak about that.
We'll talk about that's personal man.
Seedy Njie will never. Anyway, let me come. Let me
very
come.
quickly.
Not quickly.
Let's very quickly.
Not quickly.
You had the success story.
15 minutes.
So many people appreciated Barrow. He's delivering on the promises. The APRC alliance, he said, is done in the spirit of reconciliation, and that all these people have not done any atrocities, and therefore, just as your party opened up to people who served in the regime of the APRC before, you had no qualms with that. Why do you have qualms with people working with APRC? And of course, you're about to go on a tour very quickly. What do you expect to do?
Thank you very much, Mr. Cham.
Time is up with you, because we are going to come. You quickly do that. We'll come back for him to finally.
Then, Mr. Cham, you are not
I'm not
fair
saying
again.
time is up. I'm saying you'll be the last speaker.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Cham. I just want to respond to Mr. Njie. The claim is given that NPP is winning. This nationwide tour was not Meet the People's tour, but was talk about Dabo's tour, talk about UDP's tour. The entire meeting was all about that. The meeting was about that. Because there is no single place where these people stood without mentioning the name of Mr. Dabo, or without mentioning UDP, or without attacking UDP. So the tour was entirely about UDP. It was entirely about UDP. Nobody can doubt that, and even Seedy himself will not doubt it. Again, when you are talking, I did not mention your name. I did not mention his name. I did not mention my name. You mention my name. I will mention your name.
Lamin Cham. No, let him not.
I will mention your name.
Let him just talk. He's talking.
You cannot distract me.
No, he's telling me I can confirm that. I cannot confirm anything. The only thing I can confirm
what I'm saying is
there was a message, and the message resonates well with Gambia.
And the message is all about you cannot distract me, because you know all what you've said here is all good. No, you can't distract me. You have to give me time to speak. What I'm saying, the entire nationwide tour, the entire nationwide tour was all about Mr. Dabo.
No,
we had that. Go
ahead. Okay, and Seedy Njie, you cannot deceive Gambian people.
Go ahead.
You cannot deceive NPP. You cannot deceive Gambian people now. NPP. You can't deceive Gambian people. You were moving with your crowd all over. Seedy Njie, the best example for Gambians to understand that was Banjul.
You have had your talk.
The best example for Gambians to understand that was Banjul. In Banjul, the people came all the way from Brufut. Billahi wallahi. If Seedy Njie can swear that they don't have people from Brufut, Tangi and the others, he will never swear for that. People came all over Combo. Seedy Njie, remember that I was once with you people. And I know how we did our.
We are never a member of NPP.
I was once with Barrow. You know that very well. I was with Barrow when you were with Kerr.
We are talking about NPP.
I was with Barrow. We are talking about NPP and UDP. I was with Barrow. No, Sonko, you are playing ball there. Okay. No, you are different. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question. When you are a member of NPP, let me ask you this question. What I'm saying here is, member of NPP. I was with Barrow when Seedy was not with Barrow. When Seedy was with Njie.
Don't talk about NPP.
I was with Barrow when Seedy was defending Njie.
Were we ever a member of NPP?
When Seedy was defending Njie.
Let's go ahead. You see, if you can continue without mentioning him and go ahead. You can mention him, but...
Okay, I'm not going to mention him. I was with Barrow when my brother was not
When me and the people you are celebrating, who are members of the National Executive, members of UDP, this guy doesn't want to give me time because members of UDP are coming to hammer him. He knows very well that I'm coming to hammer him. This is why he will not give me time to talk. He's mentioning my name.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. There are people who is executive members of UDP today. There were executive members of APRC.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead now.
Okay, so all what I'm saying here is they are deceiving people. I was with the president during the nationwide tour before we split. I know very well how we mobilize people during our meetings.
Is that how
the same strategy was what they are using to mobilize people. The same strategy was what they are using to mobilize people. When the president was going, the president left with many people from Combo here, from KMC, from Banjul. And I said the best example for Gambians to understand that these people were carrying crowd was the meeting in Banjul. When the president was speaking, when the president was talking, the crowd was empty. The floor was empty. Because all those people in Banjul were people who came from Brikama, Brufut, and the likes. So what is more important here is not to Gambians are wise now. NPP will not deceive Gambian people. We all know when the president was in Brikama, how he spoke. When he was in Jambu, how he spoke. But the moment he came to Buvazon, he knows that yes, my people were mobilizing the same crowd for me, the same people for me. This is why his speak in Buvazon completely came. And Banjul, his speak in Banjul was the worst speak he made throughout the nationwide tour. Throughout the nationwide tour. And when Seedy Njie is saying that, look, the likes of Fabakar and the others never offend Gambian people. Fabakar was the majority leader in the parliament in 2017. They were the people who implement state of emergency in this country. When Gambian people were crying, when Gambia say he is not going, when Gambia say he is not going, and Seedy Njie was the guy. Seedy Njie was the very one here who was everybody ran away. All Patriotic Gambians. The only person who stood with Jambe to say that, Jambe is not going was Seedy Njie. He was a 9 days minister.
I'll ask my question.
How many people died during that impasse? Okay, I'm not going to talk much about that. Many people died during that impasse. The same Seedy Njie is the one who came here and now saying he's supporting Barrow, who say Barrow is not going to be sworn in this country. But that's not a problem. That's not a problem in NPP. All what NPP need today is vote. That's all what they need.
Can I ask you a question?
But what I'm saying here now, Mr. Cham, the Right Honorable Alabi Usunu Nukunda Dabo will be leaving on Monday.
Okay.
For the nationwide tour.
Where is he going?
He will go into different places, starting from Bara to Palut. But you will see that who is the choice of the Gambians come come on the 4th of December.
Do you think there will be more crowd with him than President Barrow?
There will be more crowd, natural crowd. A crowd which doesn't contain civil servants, a crowd which doesn't contain money mongers, but a crowd who contains only people who love the country, people who love UDP alone. That is good. That is going to be the kind of crowd UDP is going to pull out. Because many people going with President Barrow, these are people who know that they were being given money. I have an APRC executive saying that they were all the executives were paid every day. They given an allowance from the state. Every day they were giving money from the state covers. And but this store, look, imagine this store is not about APRC. This store is about meet the people store. There should be no political talk in this store. But they fail Gambian people. APRC should not speak. APRC should not speak in any of this meeting. Because yes, APRC should only speak when they are talking about national development, but about politics, about support NPP. About support NPP. It's all about support NPP. But all what I'm saying, we UDP, we know very well that inshallah, come on the 4th of December, the victory is ours. Okay. Because why? We promised people and delivered. He was talking about promise. How many promises President Barrow failed Gambian people? How many promises President Barrow failed Gambian people? The first promises he failed Gambian people was the 3 years. President Barrow promised the people of Brufut. He said when the people of Brufut elect him, I remember we arrived in Brufut 2 a.m. in the morning. When we were having meeting in Brufut. And the promise President Barrow gave to the people of Brufut it was, when you elect me to become the President of the Republic, the first road I am going to construct is going to be Brufut Gamtel Road to Ghana Town. That was he said that is going to be in fact, that is going to be my practical.
It's being under construction.
That is going to be my, imagine, look, he said the first project. No, I'm just trying to say, the first project, not only that, he promised government people that if you vote for me, I am going to be here for only 3 years. Apart from that one also, the same President Barrow said that if you elect me into power, there will be proper civil servant reform. If you elect me into power, there will be social sector reform. If you elect me into power, there will be constitutional review commission. But now, the same President Barrow, who took government's money, 116 million, throw it into the River Gambia. Throw it into the River Gambia. Because why? They believe that, no, and then today, Farmara Jawara stood in their meeting in Talanding. He said that they were the people. He said, loud to everybody. Look, you cannot stop me here. What I'm saying, if we are talking about promise, if we are talking about promise, there is no promise President Barrow fulfills. All this thing is doing, these are new things. These are new things just to blind Gambian people. But the promises he gave the Gambian people were the main promises were the key Gambian people need now.
Okay.
Reconciliation. There is no reconciliation.
Okay.
Today people hate Hickory than before. I think this was, look, as my brother was saying in their report, I don't want to talk much. You understand? He will say many of the people believe in manifesto. But his party doesn't have that. We have never seen we have never seen their manifesto up to now. And again,
they have policies.
Okay, their policies. Their policies, governments will not believe in their policies by mouth, because during 2016, the same President Barrow stood in all Bantabas. The promises he gave the Gambian people, it didn't fulfill it. So I believe now, if 63% of the people believes in NPP's policy, why those people doesn't desire to vote for NPP again? So we need to understand all those things. But all what I'm saying is, Mr. Cham, I don't think, I don't, morally, I don't think the life of my brother, Mr. Njie, should stand in any platform to defend President Barrow. Because he was the one here who was stopping President Barrow not to be sworn in here. He's the one who sent his brother to exile to go and sworn in there, and now he's here today trying to deceive Gambian people, for Gambian people to vote for President Barrow because of his personal gain. We all know when Seedy came from Equatorial Guinea, how he was.
Finally, Seedy.
When he came from Equatorial, you know all how he was. And in fact, Seedy Njie was even sad. So it was even sad from APRC as a spokesperson. Because Seedy came from Equatorial Guinea. When he came from Equatorial Guinea, he joined, he attended one of the meetings of APRC. And he presented himself as a spokesperson for APRC. When APRC was only having a press secretary. That time, those people, they appoint Simple Nyasi as the press secretary. So this guy is somebody who should not stand in any platform to defend President Barrow, because he was the one here who sent his brother to exile.
Well, that's politics. Politics can change, isn't it?
It's not about politics.
So many things have changed.
There should be decency in politics. There should be decency in politics.
Very good. Quickly now.
No. You said I'm going to be the last speaker. I don't think you have anything to say. All what I'm saying is, I don't think Seedy Njie war. Look, whenever you talk about the impasse, he will never want to talk about the impasse, because he knows. Yes, he will never. He said that is past, and that's not past. Because that impasse, many governments.
Personal.
No, it's not personal. It's not personal. He was appointed. He was appointed 9 days minister here. Whatever word he said, he didn't say on his own personal ground. It was based on national interest.
Very quickly, because
all the problems he happened in 2016. I'm not going to allow him to speak now, because you said I'm going to be the last speaker. Okay. I'm not going to allow him to speak now. So you have to be quiet now. Gambian people are tired, and then you should apologize to the Gambian people for the damage it caused to many people. Many people lost their life during that impact.
Agree or not agree?
I agree. No, agree. I'm not. If you're going to speak, I'm going to. He's not going to speak here.
He agreed or not agree?
I have a question to ask him.
I will not answer his question. I will not answer his question. All what I'm saying is, Gambian. Look, he have to apologize to the Gambian people. He has to apologize to the Gambian people. If he apologizes to the Gambian people, I will give him time to talk. But if he apologizes to the Gambian people, of the damages he caused during 2017 impasse, I will give him time to talk.
I have the boss here.
Yeah.
No. Now, Seedy, do you agree quickly? Because he has the last word.
I want to ask him a question.
But I don't want it to be a long question.
No. It's short question.
Okay, what is it?
Two questions. One.
Two Coxon again.
Okay.
Two Coxon again.
No, listen to him.
No, look, Mr. Cham.
What is it?
Mr. Cham, I'm not going to answer any of his questions.
what is it?
I'm not going to answer any of his questions.
quickly
The
find
first thing I want from him is to apologize to the Gambian people. If he apologizes to the Gambian people, I will allow him to talk.
This is my show, not your show. And Seedy, what do you want to add?
He talked about people who worked under the APRC.
He always talk about Sabali. Look, Sabali is his problem. Sabali is not an executive member of UDP. Sabali is just a member of UDP. Sabali is not an executive member of UDP. Sabali, because you know what? Sabali is finishing them. Sabali is finishing them. This is why all this problem is Sabali. Because Sabali is finishing them.
never said any Sabali.
Sabali, no, it's about Sabali. That's what you want to say.
Go ahead.
That's what you want to say.
I want Mr. Dampha.
That's what you want to say.
He said 2017, members of the National Assembly with
Yeah. And yourself as nominated member.
No, I was not there. I was not a member of parliament.
He was not a member of the parliament. He was 9 days minister. He was 9 days minister. You remember?
I thought he was youth parliament.
Yeah, it was. I know all what he wants to say. He wants to talk about the likes of Lamin Dampha and the like.
No, go ahead, finish.
You know, Cham, you are just wasting his time.
No, I'm not. I want you to quickly tell me go.
Because all what he say is going to make reputations.
He's quickly answering.
Reputations.
You can continue discussing when you are off air. Go ahead.
See, me and NPP, we are tolerant, we are democrat, we are civilized, and we are respectful.
And who is not tolerant?
No, you did. Go ahead.
If you are talking about tolerance, we have more tolerance than these people. We have more tolerance than these people. And our party leader have shown that example to the entire people. When Baba Njie joined our party leader came out and said, look.
Remember, this was supposed to finish by now if you had let him.
Our party leader always listened. So it's what?
It's what proves the government.
What proves the government on what?
That the United Democratic Party is a party of people who are angry.
I am not angry. I'm not angry, and Gambians are not going to listen to him. I'm not angry, and Gambians are not going to listen to him. I am not angry, and Gambians are not going to listen to him. Gambians are not going to listen to him because you all know what this man did to the Gambian people here.
I'm sorry I have to stop because it will never end.
I was speaking. This man was talking here. I was silent. Everybody was seeing. Everybody was looking at us. He was talking. I was silent. When I start talking, he started objecting me. When I was talking, he was objecting me.
I overrule anything because it will never end. Mr. Dampha, what I want you to do, when is your next survey?
Lamin, no, you don't talk about 2017 MP.
I don't want.
I'm not asking any question. I'm talking to you.
No. You should give. You said that I'm going to be the last person. You understand? In 2017, it was Seedy Njie who defended, who was going over to television stations.
I have overruled everything.
Seedy Njie was the one who was going to GRTS, saying that Dampha is not going to step down and not cause damages in our country.
Mr. Dampha, when is the next poll? Very quickly.
Maybe just a few things, because if you look at our report, it also talk about relationship between political parties, which according to our research, almost 50% either agree or not agree that the relationship is poor. And we also talk about, with regards to COVID and election, for possible postponement, there is element, and majority people say that the election should not be postponed, and the consequences are going to die. So I think every stakeholder here should take stock of this. Now, however, this first phase of research, the dissemination, this is the first dispatch, it's not finished. We also have a segment on the rating the performance of Barrow government in terms of economy, in terms of security, in terms of foreign relations and others. And that result will be released in a week time. Now, the second poll, which we are going to conduct, will start in November. In November, very close to election. And we hope, a lot of dynamics that have changed would have been captured. And the issue of NPP and APRC coalition also, question will be asked around that, to see how Gambians view about those questions as well. And again, one thing I want to emphasize is that at our center, we continue to be very professional to do our work. We are not leaning to any political party, whether we are supported or we are reprimanded. We continue to discharge our duty to ensure that, we disseminate. This is important. We need data. We need data in this country.
Will you ask people about the victim card also? The victim card also.
So now the other point I also want to tell to the stakeholders, even political parties, because the data set is huge, we cannot analyze everything. Our doors are open. If you want further analysis of the data we have, our doors are open to every political party, to the other stakeholders like IEC, and other CSOs. Our doors are open. We can always give further analysis of the data. So that is our job as a center, is purely research, and we hope that
we should print more copies and avail it.
Yeah, we have a soft copy that we are
distributing to the press.
Yes, and again, if you look at our report, every analysis has been put into context. And again, I also want to tell you that even before the release of these results, we organize a media training to ensure that the media also report accurately of our finding. We are very much aware of the sensitive nature of this kind of research. That people don't, report our data anyhow, either at the advantage or disadvantage of any group.
But so far it's the online medias who have reported. How did you see the feedback? Are you happy that the right things been reported, or there are?
I think just few data issues here and there, but generally I think the reporting has been good, and the feedback of the population also is mixed. There are others who heavily criticize our data, and in fact I took time to explain for that a lot of people, even from outside.
Will you make a survey on that one also?
Okay, all right. No, you don't have the floor. She don't have the floor.
No, I'm not taking the
floor. Only Mr. Dampha has floor, and he has just exhausted okay. Lamin Dampha of CepRass. Thank you very much, and your team, for quite a useful adventure actually, from which every Gambian can learn from, whether you agree or disagree. An opinion poll is an opinion poll. It is not the Bible or the Quran.
Thank you and thank him.
Oh, thank you very much.
What about me?
Sheriffo Sonko of the United Democratic Party, Seedy Njie of the NPP. Thank you all, gentlemen.
See you December 4th, inshallah.
Oh, okay, we'll always be here. Whether it is blue, red, or grey. We will
I believe this.
Yes, put up your mic. So there we go. We will be back next week. Until then, I will ciao. We will have a great day. Goodbye.
Gamcell data, now even better. Enjoy 20% extra data on all Gamcell data bundles. Buy 20 megabytes and get extra 4 megabytes. Buy 50 megabytes and get extra 10 megabytes. Buy 100 megabytes and get extra 20 megabytes. Any amount of Gamcell data bundle you buy, you will receive 20% extra data for free. Dial *302 data amount hash, or go to your Yaiborom menu and choose your data bundle now. Gamcell data is fast, lasts longer, and very reliable. Gamcell Yaiborom.
For all your pastry, bakery, and quality food, CK Restaurant is the only place to be. We do catering for birthdays, weddings, and all related services. We have all kinds of local foods, American, European, and even beyond. Come and have a taste of our local juice, ebe, and other services. At CK Restaurant, customer satisfaction is our priority.
Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnels who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Karaba Avenue and Brusubi Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980 8483 340 9400 or 635 9906.
We live in a day and age where technology is creating a world without borders, filled with unlimited potential to improve the lives of the people around us. Innovarex Global Health ushers in a new way of leveling the playing field with increased access to quality healthcare services delivered at your doorstep. Our qualified professionals are equipped with state-of-the-art point-of-care testing technology to conduct tests such as kidney function, liver function, electrolyte tests, body composition, hemoglobin, A1C, and many more services with the highest efficiency in delivering results. The addition to our flagship, Wellness on Wheels, more fondly known as WOW Delivery Service, brings the entire clinical experience full circle. IGH has remained committed to creating the future of healthcare delivery. Gone are the days of sending loved ones outside the country for basic medical services. Innovarex Global Health offers a new peace of mind and takes pride in delivering the quality of care we all deserve.